Being more practical, I guess it would depend on how many dependents I had. And if I didn't have any dependents, well, then there's really no need to sell out. You just say, well, I really want to control the content. But if you have someone that you need to take care of, well, you got to bring home the bacon, make sure that your kids have clothes and food, and you got to do what you got to do.
Most definitely. Mono?
I'm in agreement with Marty there. I mean, it is what it is. You know, if you don't have creative control, who are you really? You know, if you're being a puppet, you're being a puppet. But I mean, if that's what you want to do in your life, and that's what you want to sell out, or you want to just make your money or whatever. If you need to take care of somebody, you should. If you're just doing it just to be the most biggest person in the room or the most annoying person in the room, do that too. Just so creative wise, hey, I'm all for being creative and at any point in life, at any time. So if you can stick to that, good. If you need to do what you need to do, I'm in agreement with Marty there to do what you got to do.
Cool. Grinch?
Wow. Really, I would say to sell out. Well, I don't think you really necessarily have to sell out, because if you do what you need to do in a certain way, it's almost kind of like manipulating people into enjoying something that they may not think they're going to enjoy. So you can control the content and still express yourself, or still put on a different show in a different way. A lot depends on what's the venue, where are you at, what's the overall goal of what you're doing.
Most definitely. And Russ?
I think that for me, I don't go out there and try to play all the tracks that everyone wants to hear. I try to make good music. So if that means I'm not selling out, okay. If that keeps my control over the creativity of what I'm doing, then yeah, I guess I would say I would be the stick to my guns guy. Whereas what these other DJs here are saying is legitimate. I mean, if you got mouths to feed, you're going to do what you have to do. But for me, I do it for fun, so I don't care if I make a fortune off of it. So I'm going to stick to doing it my way. And if they don't like it, then I'll find someone that does. And that's probably why I haven't had a gig in a couple of years.
How many guitars do you smash a week?
That way.
If I was in a metal band, I'd be smashing guitars.
They're gonna put bread on the table too, right?
Yeah.
Man, what would I ask a metal band? That's really not one of my favorite genres. I would ask how they, I guess, got into enjoying the screaming, the anger.
If they got any songs in maybe like the 99, 100 BPM range.
If we could have a more regulated BPM, that would be awesome.
If I could find a real snare,
it'd be a lot more mixable.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
Red.
And do they use a metronome? This way the drummer stays on it. This way you can actually mix it instead of, oh man, I've only got this much of a window to mix it in.
That's what I'm saying. Can I find a real snare? You hear those off tones and you're like, what is that?
Well, as someone who started out playing carts, playing 45s, 33 and a thirds, going to CD, then going to MP3, seeing the entire evolution of it. And this is something that DJ Grinch and I were talking about a couple of weeks ago. It's not really the technology so much as the person who is using the technology. Because no matter what your artistry is in, if you're a painter, the brush, you can have the most expensive brush on the planet, but that's not going to increase your talent. It's the person behind the brush. Right. So that's what I would say.
Very true.
Definitely. Mono?
So, I mean, you're saying that the local shows, people don't like keep the essence of hip hop.
Right.
And saying they have a DJ, an MC, and they interact with the crowd and keep the show live like an old school hip hop artist would do.
Yeah.
To that matter, I mean, it just varies. I think in age and genre. There's people that are old like me, but you know what I mean, and would agree with you, and you know would hope to see a DJ come on, have a couple MCs, and rock the crowd the way they're supposed to. But then again, some of these old or younger kids now, they don't know that. You know what I mean? They've seen it. It's on TV. It's on a Burger King commercial. To them, they don't understand that. So when they get out there and they perform, they do this thing, they have all their crazy gadgets or whatever they have. You know what I mean? I can't knock that because they don't know. So I think it'd just be kind of maybe up to maybe older people, or just try to keep more of it going and showing that you can also rock that way without just the new and advanced technology and music is going today. So
For sure. Grinch.
If you're talking about, well, what is a DJ? What is a DJ to one person may be a completely different thing as to what somebody else considers to be a DJ. I know scratch DJs. They are very talented scratchers. Amazing, super fun to watch. But can you dance to it? Nah, kind of. Sometimes a little bit. It's a little difficult. And then there's a more evolved DJ, that knows how to beat match and throw in scratches at the same time. Well, they're in a little bit more control of what they're doing. Then there's, say a DJ MC, which is something more like a resident DJ, which is, like what I would consider Marty and what I would consider myself, because there's a lot of times when we're talking to the crowd, we have to interact with the crowd. One of the biggest things that helped me a lot was at Pepper's there was a comedy show also. Marty would get up there and host the comedy show, and then, I would DJ from up in the booth during that time, and, there's so many different things. On Saturday nights, I remember at Pepper's, there was always a contest, and we'd go out onto the floor and have a big contest, and it's part of entertaining people. It's not just scratching. It depends on what the application is, where the event's at, as to what a DJ is.
Most definitely. For you, Russ? The separation between MC and DJ, or...
I think I agree with all these guys have valid points. I think that, if you're going to be DJing a wedding, you don't need to be scratching. And there's probably not going to be the dance music that we're accustomed to as DJs. But there, people will be dancing, of course. So I agree with Nate. Sure, there's... it's situational. But I also think that there's a lot lost now with technology making things so much more accessible and portable and all of that. Sure, that's great. That helps. 40, 50 pound record cases, that gets old after a while. If you just grab a flash drive and go, sure, it's easy. But there's a lot lost. Now you can just push a button and you don't have to do any work. You just push a button and wait for the track to end and you're done. So it's kind of, I think, taken a lot away, technology has, but I think there's going to be a lot more aspects that we haven't seen yet that are going to come into play that's going to bring it back to life.
Well, as someone who has been a resident DJ, I lived it and breathed it, and I loved it. There was something about just the environment and the instant gratification of watching what you do make such an impact. Because even though we weren't supposed to, we would squeeze in sometimes 1,200 people into the venue.
Nice.
And it was elbow to elbow, and you couldn't run if you had to. Thank God no one ever started a fire in the place. Someone probably would have gotten killed or trampled. But when you spin something, play something, and you're watching it, you're watching the beat, and it's like an ocean. It's yeah, it really is. It's one of the biggest rushes I've ever felt in my life. Considering that I think I made $12,000 a year at the time, that's a testament as to that was my bread and butter. It was the feedback. It wasn't financial.
Right.
It was just the rush of the job.
Most definitely. Cool. Marty?
I agree with that. I don't matter what venue it is. You know, I'm pretty secure in like what I can play, and I can play house music, rock music. You know, I can switch it up, and it's all where you go. You know, you show up at a venue and you're like, okay, I need to play this dance music for these people. I actually sometimes like to be challenged where I can play everything all night long, and I don't have to sit there and just play rock music or something like that. So I like some of the bars. Bigger venues, I like playing house music. That's always fun to do. It doesn't matter to me. I feel alive when I see the music playing, when I'm actually playing it, when everything's going and you're in control, and you know how you're feeling people and people are feeling you, and you get that vibe back and forth. That's like one of the best feelings in the world. 'Cause if one person comes up to me at night and says, "You did a good job," I'll go home happy. You know what I mean? Like, as long as people see me that the feelings coming out of me, that I'm actually working and trying to have fun with everybody, make everybody happy. I think that works for me.
Most definitely. Grinch?
I loved when I was in a club and you tell everybody put your hands up and scream and everybody's ah! Yeah, that's awesome. But the place where I enjoyed DJing the most, what I enjoyed the very, very most is sitting in a basement of my friend's house with a small group of friends, listening to house music and break beats. The more intimate settings where everybody in the room is all in a good mood, everybody's feeling it, everybody's enjoying each other's company. You don't have the riff-raff that you had at a lot of the hip-hop and rap dance clubs. I loved that. That was my favorite.
Awesome. For you, Russ?
I think most of all, I like Nate, the personal setting where it's just a group of people that are there for the music. That's why they're there, and they love it, and they enjoy seeing you enjoy yourself, and it just creates a really cool vibe. But like the bigger scenes, the raves, the big club scenes, it's a rush. They're not the same. I don't know if you can really compare them in that way. I mean, they both have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
If you want to make it big, go to the club. And try it that way. But if you're just doing it for fun, stay at home and invite people you like.
That's
Cool.
true.
Oh wow! I'm gonna have to pull this name out of vapor because it's been a long time. His name is Aaron Feliciano, and he was one of the DJs at the Cavalcade. He had been there probably about 6 or 7 years, and he used to contract with Magic FM at the time, and they would do this little Saturday night live DJ thing. And wow, the man was impressive. Up until that point, I was just putting music onto cart, playing syndicated vinyl records. It was like Casey Kasem at the time, and I would go in there and do that. But after I had seen Aaron Feliciano do what he did, it's like a drug. You see it and you go, man, I really want to do that. And just the way that he would mix, the way that he would form this imagery in your head, but he would do it with music, and it's powerful. Aaron Feliciano. Yeah.
Cool. What are you, cool DJ Romano?
Yeah, I don't even know that. I like so many people. I guess I'd say like my musical thing. My parents were into Motown, and then classic rock, so that was just all coming at me, and so seeing DJs put that stuff together just blew my mind. I guess the very first time I seen a DJ is probably like on the Grammys, Grandmaster DXT, fresh. How the hell is he doing that? You know, and you know, then I started researching and seeing, and then you know, I've had the pleasure to see Africa Bambaataa, Cool Herc. I've seen some really good old school DJs, and I mean, for me, that's where I kind of like learned, and I like all that type of era stuff like that. So that's what got me interested in actually picking up a turntable and trying it and say, hey, you know, maybe I could scratch this way and stuff like that.
Cool. How about you, Nate?
Not being popular in high school. You know, you weren't popular in high school. How am I gonna get popular? Become a DJ. No, Marty was definitely my mentor in DJing and getting me started. And then as far as getting into the more electronic side, breakbeats, a friend of mine, Jeremy Sargent, DJ Mastermind, amazing at scratching, but he was very precise with his beat matching, and just the things that he put together was amazing. So I enjoyed that. That got me more to the part about DJing that I really enjoy. Of course, I made DJing a career. I mean, for 20 years, that was my job. I was a DJ. I didn't have another side job. I was a DJ the entire time. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of different sides to it, but...
Ed. And for you, Russ?
I think what finally sold me was seeing John Digweed live. And then I was for sure sold. Like, I knew that, you know, this guy did something to me. I want to be able to do that to someone else. Is when I saw both Sasha and John Digweed together. And, you know, back then I was more into the trance, lighter, happier kind of stuff, you know. And like anything, you evolve, you know. Now I can't get out of the house music. I think seeing Sasha and John live was what did it for me.
Wow. Just as artists are concerned.
Yep.
Wow. I think I need a moment. You know, because
Yeah, that's a big question.
To
'cause
take
I
that
started
all
thinking
in.
that, and I mean, I got Bob Marley and Eddie Pryor, or Richard Pryor, I mean. But dude, who do you ask to come to a music festival, live or dead? I mean, that's
That could be 500 artists.
yeah, that's gonna take it 2 hours to even.
Are you talking about any artists across the board or like DJs?
Any artist across the board. I know that's a tough one.
you
Like,
know, as a DJ, that's like asking a painter what color do you prefer to use. I mean, all of them. Let's just
Right.
you know, as many as I can fit into
Every
the
square
program.
a different color.
Yeah.
Make
Everybody
3
has
squares.
4 minutes.
Right.
Go.
Go. Yeah, definitely. That's a big question there.
all right. Like, I guess like top 5. Would you like sum it?
Top
sum it all?
5.
Yeah.
Number 1, I don't know what is going to come after this number 1, but number 1 for me would be Pink Floyd.
Nice.
Okay.
Gotta have Pink Floyd. One of my favorite house groups is Basement Jaxx. I really enjoy Basement Jaxx. One of my other favorite DJs is DJ Icy. Really enjoy him. Wow. Yeah. I'm still picking for my favorite color.
Nothing's wrong. You know what I mean. Nothing's wrong to say.
Nothing.
I was sitting here thinking, I wouldn't even pick any DJs.
You know,
I'd pick like Bob Marley. You know what I mean? Bob Marley.
oh, absolutely, Bob
Janis
Marley.
Joplin. You know, things like that, because that's stuff that you. That's why you DJ, is because you see that. You know what I mean? You see other people's. I don't know. I go on and on. I brought some 45s.
Right. Anything come to mind besides?
No,
Yes.
I don't think I could just pick a few on the fly like this. It's
Quite a tough one.
like Ramon. I don't know if I'd actually even pick any DJs. I'd just go with a bunch of the old bands that I'll never get to see. You know, all the art, all
Honey
the
Drippers.
musicians.
The Beatles.
that are
The
gone, you
Beatles.
know?
I would have to have the Beatles there.
And Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Absolutely.
Can't go anywhere without Prince.
Michael Jackson.
Well, of course.
See, now we're gonna come up with a great list here. Yeah. But you know, actually, it's funny you ask this question, because as hard as it seems to answer that question, that's what each and every one of us DJs here did every night when we were DJing. We had to come up with the top music every single night.
That big spectrum
out of everything
out of air
that
put down.
that's going to be collected together, that everybody's going to enjoy and be able to share the same experience
On the fly.
on the fly.
fly.
And all of a sudden it's like you're trying to be psychic with your crowd. And you're trying, by playing one song and seeing what their reaction is, it's like, do I even let the entire
Right.
song play, or am I going to mix into something else?
Right.
And before they know it, they're into a completely different genre to kind of test the waters, put your toe in.
Right.
And so you would go from everything from country to hip hop to I don't know, any genre really.
Anything.
Oldies.
Song selection is top. I'd say one of my top-notch things. You can be the best damn DJ all the time. If you get up there and you play all the wrong songs, it's, you know.
Right.
I
What
mean,
are you playing?
Why go up there and do that if you don't sit at home and, you know, or take the time to research your music and where you get your music and where this music came from and who produced this music and where can I find the same type of music so I can follow this path, and then I can follow a funk path, I can follow a soul path. You know, it's on, and that's why it's so hard nowadays, because people don't do that.
Well, you know, like nowadays, a lot of people, a lot of these people that we were talking about earlier that say they're DJs because they have this auto sync button on their mixer that mixes everything together for them.
Or they bought the DJ in a box kit, you know.
Right,
so
or they
got
bought the DJ. Yeah.
two
You know,
cables and a mixer,
the
and they
thing
don't
is-
even know how to turn the damn thing on.
I don't discredit them people that do that type of things. You know, they go get their parents' credit card and go buy Serato and buy whatever they are. Great, dude. You know, I wish I could have done something like that. You know what I mean? Awesome. But if you're gonna do that and you're gonna label yourself as a DJ, where other people take this profession very, 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 very strictly, and you know, if you're gonna do that, I kind of feel like you're just getting out there playing whatever, and you're just having no respect or anything for what other people actually try to work hard for and try to, you know, do than just say I'm a DJ and go out to a bar and club or wedding and play music for everybody. So that's the big thing, I think.
You know, not to keep going back to Peppers and Showtime and that kind of stuff where I did, but you know, like Marty was talking about, getting those different genres in and seeing how it's going to affect different people. A lot of people may say they are a DJ, but have you ever DJ'd for 1,000 people in a small packed building? You know, you're responsible for a lot more than just playing the best top hit. Right. You have to rotate that crowd. Just because you may not be playing the top hit, you may be saving part of the crowd from getting into a fight because you're letting the crowd breathe. You know, you're bringing them up and you're pulling them down and you're doing all these different things.
Right.
You know,
And
like that. So yeah, like Mono was saying,
Crowd
song
control
selection is
and
absolutely essential. You can't just
yeah, you can't
you know, mix everything. You
gotta
have to
a
be
plan
controlled.
of what you're doing. You know, you gotta have a mindset. You gotta be thinking if your time slot's, you know, 3-hour time slot, you know, if I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna peak at this time, and I'm gonna bring it back down, and I'm gonna, go in a wave other than just, I'm going to come out there and just bang every hit that's on the radio right now and ram it down their throats. You can't do that. You can't do that.
No, in fact, if anything, you really have to be a scholar of music. Because if you don't know the genres, if you don't know the products, if you don't know the songs, the artists, if you don't know any of that, how can you decide what you're going to play or even have a plan? Whether it's Bowie and Queen Under Pressure, or if it's, Vanilla Ice, or is it Rick James, or is it MC Hammer? I mean, who's sampling what?
Right.
You need to know the difference, and you need to be able to listen to it and hear it and have that plan in your head. But if you don't know anything about the music, how is that even possible?
All right, it is the No Cover Podcast. We're talking to Russ Hayes.
Hey, this is Russ Hayes.
I'm Nate Galusha,
DJ Mono.
Marty Muniz.
and we just checked out the Wu
Chu
Manchu Chronicles.